Minions are pretty scary, but do you ever wonder if they could get
Scarier?
Hi, I'm 2Dice. I make video games, make videos on making video games, and today we are making minions even more haunting. What if zombie minion? I'm going to make a 3D sculpt of a mutant, disgusting zombie minion, but if we're going to do that, we need a 2D drawing to see what that creature will actually look like. The problem is, I can't draw. My friend Chris, however, is a painter, so we're gonna use him to paint some concept art to make our dreams become reality. So what is your favorite minion? Do you have a favorite?
I like the short two-eyed one.
Oh, Bob. My man Bob. Yes, that guy's video is awesome. Shout out to North of the Border. Oh, who's that?
I don't know, but...
Looks like you.
Oh my goodness.
What? It's pretty normal. What?
He's like a failed experiment.
They should have white eyes like Five Nights at Freddy. That's scary.
We definitely look into that, especially because
I kind of like this one too. This one's hilarious.
It's actually a really cool drawing.
Can we give him J's? Chris then went off to create this atrocity. It took him like a day. With that, let's hop over to ZBrush. That's the software I'm using. I'm gonna crack that open. Oops, said a bad word. Use that fart sound to censor that. Laying the starting foundation, basic shapes in preparation for the model's general presentation. So when I do details, the form retains information. First, to 3D model this character, I will need to start with what we call a blockout. That's where I lay out the general shapes for this character. For example, you can see me laying the proportions out for this minion's gap right here. By the way, it wasn't my idea to give that minion all that movement back there. Chris insisted on that, and I'm just doing that because it's part of the concept art. So call him weird, not me. I ran into a problem at this point. I was just sculpting the body, I added this cool wound, I, did the butt, but eventually I needed to start detailing the gross mutant skin that this guy has. But if we take a look at Chris's concept art, it is amazing, but there isn't a very high resolution for the details of what the minion's skin looks like. This is a common problem throughout a lot of 3D modelers' careers, where concept art could look amazing, but oftentimes later into the project you realize there are parts of that concept art that weren't fully defined. A great example of this phenomenon is in one of my older projects. I sculpted a robot based off of Miro Petrov's robot's concept art, and upon first look this looks like a great painting. I mean, there's so much detail here, but throughout the project I realized some problem areas where me, the 3D modeler, would need to take some creative liberties to make this work. For example, this armpit area has this pipe extending from his chest into his shoulder, and while that looks cool in the painting, the arm would constantly be colliding with the pipe. Overall, I just had to make the executive decision to shift that pipe into a different direction to stay out of the way of that shoulder. This is one of those instances where I need to take some creative liberties. So first I started messing around with this leg, just trying to hand sculpt in what I was looking for, and while it was a good general layout of the shapes, that looked kind of really bad. In times like this, it really helps me to just grab some other forms of reference around the internet, and me being an insufferable Halo fan, I just searched up some Halo Flood concept art and used that to drive my ideas. I pulled from the gross lumps from this Flood design, as well as the bony, claw-like structures with like skin stretched over it, and that really started to help these legs look way more disgusting. I was starting to feel a little bit more happy with where this was headed, but I was still missing a level of mutant zombie detail that I wasn't quite achieving yet. So I defaulted to a proven method for achieving skin details on sculpted characters, and that was with custom brushes. I purchased a mutant skin as well as some veins and burns brush packs, and immediately started playing around with how that looked, and at this point I was really excited with this solution. So I continued to cover the entire minion sculpt in burns, veins, wounds, other nightmare-fueled textures. Now that this model is finally complete, we are about ready to start giving this guy some color and texturing him. But there is one final problem that we need to tackle before I can give this guy some colors. If we look at our minion up close, we'll notice that he is composed of a lot of what we call polygons. Millions of polygons! That is way too many to have running in a game engine. On top of that, we need to do something called unwrapping, which can kind of be thought of as reverse origami, where you take a 3D object and unfold it until it's flat, so then we can draw on that flat surface and refold it up into the 3D shape. Problem is, if we were to unfold all of these polygons into a flat surface, well, my ZBrush crashes. Luckily for us, we can do something called Retopology to get a lower polygon model, which you could see me doing on screen now, and then I go into a software like Marmoset or Substance Painter to use the model with millions of polygons and bake those details onto the lower poly model. This is a trick used by almost every game you know to get fairly low poly characters looking like they have way more detail than they actually do in 3D space. With my lower poly character already in Marmoset though, we're ready to take this into Substance Painter and start giving this guy some color. Now that we've completed the zombie minion, the moment you guys have all been waiting for, the part where I show you the final renders, this is that part. Check it out.
Don't ram, no they're gonna get out of and try now, that's part of the plan. Original Dan, there's only one Mr. Sandman. Combo, popular and late and some can't understand how to set plan and slang. Wanna follow and be like man. Followers plate food won't ever land. Let me burn down the place, cool fireman. You know my steed.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Chris the concept artist made a video about his painting process. That is linked below if that interests you. And if you want to learn more and meet me and my friends, join our Discord, which is also linked below.
And I ain't done yet. Heavy little burst, every cough breath. Table stop turning when everything says. When I'm putting in work, when I ramp, when I bet. With a lead mic check, microphone.